Family, y'all ever notice that the only time that most white folk call for unity and want black folk help is when them and their own have been impacted by something? You know, it's so funny how now everybody, since this horrific incident in Texas, we want all the Americans' thoughts and prayers. We all got to stick together. Stick together? Were we sticking together in thoughts and prayers for all the missing black children?
Now, in the latest conversations that have been going on is on blacks and brown being called out to stand in unity. Well, including even the white wanting there to be like some sort of support. And today we're going to be discussing about different opinions and different thoughts when it comes to unity among different races, different groups of people, and different community. And let me know what you think in the comment section down below.
Black women in the U.S. are murdered 6 times as often as white women in the U.S. And you got women on here complaining that a black woman is pro-black woman. She went even as far as to apologize to the black men in the comment section because apparently they felt accosted. I don't know what you've heard, but being pro-black woman means prioritizing black women in a country where they are murdered 6 times as often as white women. And you know what the culprit is? Gun violence. Who is wielding those guns? I had a 7-year-old student that was gunned down on the street. You don't need to ask by who. You know who. I'm not here to accost anyone. Calling out a creator for saying she's pro-black woman in a country where, again, black women are killed 6 times as often as white women. By gun violence. By gun violence. Who are you really upset at? But it was the apologizing to black men in the comment section for me. I'm sorry. Are you sorry for the fact that black women are now more vocal about the fact that they're being killed? Y'all are really weird. And it's funny because every time black women bring up the fact that we don't feel safe, we don't feel protected, here come the men talking about, we need to work together. The CIA has done a number on our community. The CIA? The BLA, CK, MEN is doing a number on our community. I would love to work together if there wasn't the constant threat of me being killed by you. I am pro-black woman, by the way. And if you have an issue with that, I don't know what to tell you. I used to be pro-black in my early 20s, and then I grew up. I'm gonna love y'all from a distance. As for me, it's pro-black women all day, every day. Also, real quick, do you also think that Black Lives Matter is an insult to white people? Does that mean that white lives don't matter? Or how are we?
What happened to the thoughts and prayers and sticking together during the civil rights movement? Hell, during even when everybody was trying to blame DEI on a plane crash, when your president was taking out artifacts out of the African American Museum of History and Culture in DC, and now you want thoughts and prayers and you want us to all kumbaya and stick together because now you hurting. That's selfish, ain't it? Huh? Or like brown people, Latinos, you want black folks' help now that you're being rounded up like herds. But before you didn't give a shit. Before, me no black, me no speak English, me no black. All the while your hair is nappier than mine and your skin is darker than mine. You're not gonna use us. We will pray who we want to pray for, and we will assist who we want to assist. And right now, we need all of our energy for ourselves. And that's a fact.
I am not leading a fight for humanity. I'm leading a fight for black people. You see, I have no intentions of raising the consciousness of any other peoples outside of my own peoples. I am here to unify the mother continent and the diaspora. You see, I am practicing the same self-love that every other peoples practice. We already know how white peoples feel about us based off how this system was built and how it's still being operated, right? When Chinese people come over here from China and they start business in our land, when they start up those laundromats and those restaurants, they don't hire black people. They don't care if black people are financially struggling, if black people are homeless and all of these things. When Mexicans come over here and they start up business in our neighborhoods, they don't hire us. When Arabs come over here from the Middle East and they start up their smoke shops, they start up their delis and all these things, they don't hire us, right? So why is it a problem when a black man or a black woman practices the same self-love that every other people's practice, right? It's a problem when a black person does it. No, I'm just doing the same thing y'all do. I'm telling my peoples to protect their communities. You know what I mean? Educate your babies. Stay with your own. Black men stay with black women stay with black men. Fight back against your enemy, all these things. I'm practicing self-love. I'm practicing self-love. I ain't pushing hate. I ain't doing none of that. I am practicing self-love. No other peoples fight for my peoples. No other peoples care for my peoples, right? So I have the same energy that everybody else has for us. That's all it is. I'm not leading a fight for humanity. I'm leading a fight for black people. You see how that works?
So I'm seeing a lot of posts going around from people from Spanish backgrounds asking for the black and the brown to unite to help fight these massive ICE raids that are taking place across our country. And so initially, when I heard it, I got mad, just being transparent, because I'm like, yo, the Nation of Islam has been clamoring for the black and brown to unite for decades. And the brown, for the most part, has wanted nothing to do with us. Black people love Mexican people. We love brown people. We have supported Mexican culture profusely. This is not even, some of this may be like humorous, but that's not the point. Like, we drink lots of tequila. We love tacos. And I'm not talking about Taco Bell. We go to Mexican-owned small businesses and spend our hard-earned money. For decades, we've done this. We have always supported Hispanic lawn care businesses. Now, some of this may sound like stereotypes and things like that, and I don't want that to be the tone. I just want you to understand that black people have always supported the brown. Always. Black men have dated Mexican women, created black and Mexican babies. We've always loved your culture and supported your culture, despite knowing how some of you really feel about us. Despite knowing that a lot of Hispanic men don't like black men because Hispanic women love us. It's a lot of prejudice and biased behaviors that black people have encountered directly from brown people. Directly. And now that Donald Trump is president again, and he is escalating the deportation of people he thinks he shouldn't be in this country, and it's happening and it's disrupting families and causing all types of turmoil, we have so many brown people like, help us, black people, unite with us. And I'm just here to tell you, first off, how about an apology? How about you start with an apology for not having black people's back historically since you've been in America? Because, and this is not to single out any Hispanic person, but historically, Hispanics have not joined our plight. And despite what the Hispanics who are being rounded up in a forcible manner are going through, it pales in comparison to what black people have been going through in America for 400 plus years. It pales in comparison. And I'm not here to have a struggle off because it's all fucked up. But you turn the blind eye this whole time. Now, there's been pockets of brown who've got on the front line with us and things like that, who have actively helped us to combat systemic racism. But for the most part, you didn't want no parts of this shit. And now that it's happening to you, now it's a crisis. What, you didn't believe it was real when black people were complaining about it? Or you just thought you were different than us and would never have to deal with it firsthand? I don't know, man. All I'm saying is start with an apology for how you haven't had our back and then ask for our help. Because I would definitely be more inclined to have your back if you acknowledge that even though you didn't have our back, that you finally get it now, that you finally understand it now. Black people are humble enough and are filled with enough love to get out there on the front line. I don't know if you know this, but historically, black people have no issues hopping in someone else's business and fighting someone else's fight. Like, we've done it because that's who we are, because God is in us. Like, we rarely turn a blind eye to any injustice. Rarely. We get in other people's business all the time because it's something in us that tells us, hey, we need to do something about this because it could happen to you. So with that being said, like if the brown wants the black to unite, we're going to need a contract, bro. We're going to need y'all to sign something guaranteeing that when this shit is over and Trump is done and the work that we can do unified prevents your families from being dismantled, that you're going to get your ass on the front line to help us to stop the police from killing us. That you're going to get your ass on the front line to help us sway some of these political agendas. That you're going to get your ass out there and have our back in the manner that you're requesting us. Because we're not finna help you, and then as soon as shit gets back to normal, you're back to taking from our culture and not adding value. We need y'all to start supporting some of these black businesses like we support y'all businesses. We need y'all to recognize that you not white. You in the same boat as us, but you got a better view because you have a native tongue. You have home countries that you can go to. You still have your native God and religious structure. None of that was stripped from you. You have a knowledge of self that we would never have because everything was taken from us. So if we get out there and help you, you motherfucking better have our back when this shit is over. You better be right there with us in the trenches when your plight has been resolved so you can help us get our shit right. That's all I'm saying. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and go ahead and disagree or agree. I welcome it all. The incomparable Diesel Greasel.
I've seen a couple comments, we need to stick together, black and brown unity. They're coming for you next comments. And I just want to give my opinion on it without me being heavily passionate, just my thoughts. When you're saying they're coming for you next, or who do you think is next? To me, I consider that more to be a threat and you not actually being in solidarity with black Americans, because if we know any protest in the past, we know that they're a lot more brutal when it comes to darker skinned people, especially black men. And we've seen video after video of black men being beaten to death in the prison system, right? Beaten to death. And I'm not saying it isn't heartbreaking. I do feel bad for the Mexican community. I know they're very hardworking people. But I think there's a very huge difference between being taken from your families and placed in cars and returned to your home country versus being placed in body bags. Black Americans don't get deported. This is our home country. We can't be deported anywhere. This is our home. We get beaten to death or shot or unalived or schmurdered. And I find it very, very weird and insulting to compare the two. And I've seen, we were there for Black Lives Matter protests. That's because people were unalive. They no longer draw breath. They no longer exist on this planet. They are no longer in their bodies. They are in the ground. And I don't like the comparison because it's incomparable. If we could go home, even though this is our home, every black American would do it. Give us reparations and a plane ticket. Bye! That's the difference. Again, I don't really have a problem with the whole immigration thing. Like, being an immigrant, I really could care less. I believe it. If you want to go somewhere else for a better life, I have no problem with that. I really don't. I just don't understand how. And I feel bad for kids who were here since they were kids. That just doesn't make sense to me. Like, if you were here since you were a kid, I don't understand how they're being deported. Like, that's just insane. But I'm just saying in general. Your families came here for a better life. We were brought here against our will and have worked very hard as a community, as a race, to make do with that suffering, with that pain, with that. And I've really been asking myself, do other cultures actually know what has happened to black Americans? Like, do they know? Because I don't think they do. I really don't think they do. I feel like it's very sugar-coated. They were slaves. Jim Crow era. civil rights movement. And I think, I struggle to, there's like I've been saying it forever, there's a lack of respect, no shame, Hispanics throw the N-word around like it's nobody's business. They're the only ones I've ever heard say it, in real life. And there's a comfortability, and I'm very just, why aren't you asking for the Irish to stand up for you? There's this whole gingers are black thing. Where is the ginger community? Where is the Russians? Where's the Italians? Where's the Koreans? Where's the Chinese? Where's the Japanese? Where's the Samoans? Where's Native American solidarity? Where's brown solidarity? Why aren't you asking for the Native Americans' help? They understand just as much as you for the Mexican community. I mean, and you're saying you didn't vote for this. You're right. That is the hardship when your community votes against your best interest. Of course, not everybody voted for it. The same way not all black people voted for Kamala, but a lot did. Or, there is black communities that voted for him, but that's not the majority. But if things would go wrong, everyone would blame that percentage that voted for him. I think people are so inherently deep-rooted in their racism, and for some reason, society hates African Americans, black Americans, descendants of enslaved prisoners of war, when we haven't done anything. It's actually psychotic if you really think about it. I'm not saying we don't have our own issues. We definitely have. But everybody's been so worried about the black community and what we've been doing instead of trying to end racism in your own community. You hate Afro-Latinos. The Asian communities mistreat darker skinned people, and their scale ratio on complexion is even worse. I would be considered dark to them. I think people need to ask themselves why their first thought is, hey, black community, where are you? We are not the Avengers. You need to ask yourself why you consider black skin an armor for you, because you do. This is about armor. That's it. You need someone to take the blows for you. And why is it black and brown solidarity when something's going wrong? The past 5 years, I haven't heard anyone say black and brown solidarity. Why haven't the Hispanic communities been trying to build community with us before? Why haven't we all been getting together, buying land, investing in things together, trading? That's solidarity. It's only when it's war. It's only when something bad is happening that it's suddenly solidarity because the white man is out to get you. But you guys want to be white. You want to be in proximity to people who ate us. It's actually insane that you think we don't understand white people. It's like, it truly shocks me. It's like, why do you guys want to be close to a demographic that literally causes chaos? Obviously not all white people. I'm half white. But just like white supremacy in general. What is this weird obsession with wanting to be close to it? You are the brainwashed demographic. We're not. We know what it is. We know what the scale is. And this whole, you're next. When Khalif Browder, Corey Wise, the exonerated five, Sandra Bland, Trayvon Martin, Emmett Till, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, George Floyd, I don't remember everybody's name, but I remember a lot of scenarios. Shooting after shooting after shooting after shooting after shooting. And it's just, I find it so disrespectful because we're not getting deported anywhere. We're getting murdered. We're being placed in body bags. And then we're told we're overreacting. Oh my gosh, this race stuff again. Why are they always talking about race? Now you're feeling a little discomfort. It's discomfort. And if any of y'all feel it, that is America. So whenever, Chinese people were dealing with some stuff during COVID too, they were experiencing some hate crimes. It don't feel good, does it? I feel like y'all think you're better than the program, and it's kind of embarrassing. Ain't nobody better than the program. But for some reason, you guys think because you're a little lighter, You got this weird white approval that doesn't exist. And you would throw black people under the bus. It makes me laugh. I'm not saying y'all don't protest, because, like, obviously every race protests. But just, like, systematically, I don't see the solidarity that everybody speaks of. I see every community, Indian people, Arabic people, Muslims, Chinese people, Koreans, Mexicans, Hispanics. They're all in our communities. You guys all have the businesses. I don't see you pouring into the black community at all. So who are you trying to fool? I mean, history, like, Sinners perfectly pointed it out. They had 2 Chinese shops. What did they contribute? Nothing. First of all, this is really all about money. You guys want the black dollar, but y'all don't like black people at all, but you love our culture. It's actually insane. It's effing disgusting. I don't think you're used to having to fight for yourself. We have plenty of people to look up to. This is not the Hunger Games, and this is not Handmaid's Tale. We have activism, and we always have, which is why you're here. So you're just not used to having to fight for yourself. But go ask for other people. Bye.